Hi, I'm Victor Maas, real estate attorney, broker, and investor, but no one really cares. What they care about is that I'm a problem solver. So that's what I do for a living, is solve problems.
I'm going to show you how to find deals you never even knew existed.
Deals are everywhere, but you got to get off your butt.
One deal is all it takes to change your life. Victor frickin' Maas, that's right.
We're here to solve problems, folks, so I want you to start thinking in terms of who has problems. So I'm going to start you off with some examples. Write these down when you're ready. You ready? Yeah. All right. So the easiest way to go find deals in San Antonio, in my opinion, is driving for dollars. Okay? Think about what people want. Do you think they want to be out in Elmendorf or the Dominion? Say no. No. They want a 3-bedroom, 2-car garage. Preferably outside 410. Okay? So my area would be, honestly, nowadays it's from Marbach, 1604, 410, all the way to basically 35. Okay? There's a big rectangle there. You can even go into Live Oak and even Converse nowadays, and even further south if you want. But for the longest time, I was actually from 35 in. Now it's even going east, because you can't find homes under what, $200,000 anymore. When I got started, my biggest competition when I rehabbed homes was brand new homes. A few years ago, I noticed a change in the trend here. I was no longer in competition with builders. My competition was other investors. And very few of them could keep up with the way I do my homes. I rehab them, I stage them, I price them accordingly. I make it so easy for them. Y'all with me? Whereas a lot of investors who rehab, what do? Slap on some paint and call it a day. I'm a rehabber. You know, I tear things apart. So driving for dollars. Driving for dollars is the cheapest, doesn't cost anything, just your time. So my advice to you is, if you're going to do driving for dollars, look for vacant homes, and don't stop till you get 100 houses. And depending on the neighborhood, it might take you 4 hours, it might take you 2 days. But you can find vacant homes all over San Antonio. Show of hands, anyone ever drive for dollars? Do y'all agree with everything I just said? Are there plenty of houses out there? Yes. I'm going to share with you the psychology why there's never going to be a low amount of vacant properties. Are you ready? I'll prove it to you. Anybody like logic? Yes. Liars. Anyway. Now here's why. I want you to think of the 100 closest people to you. Your families, your friends, your co-workers. How many of them do you think do things right? Pay their bills on time, keep up with their homes, and you look up to them, and one day, you know, if you had a child of your own, you'd want them to be like this person. Anybody want to throw a number at me? 10%. 10%. Anybody else? I've had 2% one time, okay, so. Yeah, I think a good 10 to 20% of the people out there do things right. The rest of you are screw-ups. See, just joking. It's my joke of the day. Nobody likes my jokes. She does. She gets it. Liar. Touche. No, but my point is, you can always count on people to do dumbass things, like not maintaining the homes, paying their property taxes, okay? Quitting their jobs without having backups. Most people are 1 month away from being bankrupt. Do y'all agree with me? So there is the psychology behind, there's always going to be plenty of deals. Same thing 20 years ago, 50 years ago, it's going to be 20, 50 years from now. People live beyond their means. And then something happened in the last 2 years that forever just freaks me out. San Antonio is getting like the rest of the country. The prices are just stupid now. Everybody agree with me? And that's going to cause even more problems and more opportunities for folks like you. Okay? So there's the psychology behind it. Driving for dollars, you'll find lots and lots of leads. When you find those 100 properties, weed them out. I repeat, weed them out. You may be down to 10 or 20. I try to eliminate anything owned by investors. I try to eliminate anything owned by banks. Anything owned by government agencies, Secretary of Veterans Affairs, stuff like that, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, just get rid of all of them. You only want to deal with owners that are Mr. and Mrs. Gonzalez, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and vacant. So there's your first lead source. Doesn't cost you anything, but it does cost you time. So if you're just starting out, honestly, I always recommend you start there. Look for at least 100 properties, weed them out, narrow it down, narrow it down, narrow it down, and then find the owners and see if they were interested in doing something with that property. Okay? Now, pre-foreclosures is going to be the second one. That to me is the one everybody goes after, but most people don't know how to work it. You think just because they're in foreclosure, they're worth pursuing. They're not. You're looking at properties that have been in existence, mortgage-wise, for at least 10 years. And there's a little secret here. Be careful. Some of them may refinance and then there's no equity. So I'm looking for loans of 10 years or more in good areas where the values go up and the principal goes down. And so you drive them and you knock on doors and you follow up, follow up, follow up. You know, one of my favorite stories is with this young lady over here. I'm going to pick on her. Yes, I'm that guy. There was a home in foreclosure, and I go to the home, and she had put a little plant there, a little succulent, try to get their business. And whose job is it to follow up? The investor. And I don't know what she did necessarily to follow up, but I ended up finding the guy through a brother in California. And we ended up buying the property really cheap and made a bunch of money, and I kept her succulent, by the way. So, there it is. Foreclosures. Narrow it down. See if it's really worth pursuing. And then find the owners and follow up, follow up, follow up. I think about 3 or 4 years ago, I found this property off Calabria. Run down, vacant, just like I was describing. Guy died in the home, and so did his 2 dogs. And there was like a mountain of dog poo in the house, and rats, and bugs, and everything. It's disgusting. Y'all get it, right? I think it was worth $170. I bought it for $40 from the one heir. And nobody could find this one heir, but I found the heir living in Galveston, 300 miles away. And I ended up talking to her. She was a waitress, had no money, no transportation. And I made her a deal, and she agreed to it, $40K. And I said, okay, can I send a notary to get your signature so we get the ball rolling and wire your money? Like, nope. It's like, well, would you come down to San Antonio? All you pay for the bus or plane? Nope. What am I? Problem solver. So I drove the 300 miles and I met with her and she signed everything and I gave her her check and she was happy as hell. All for a 10-minute meeting. Who here would have driven to Galveston to get that signature? Liars. I tease about this, but I'm really trying to make a point with you guys. You will be inconvenienced if you want to be a real estate investor. You will get paid last if you want to be a real estate investor. All your friends and family are going to want you to give them money for free, even though you worked your butt off for it. So, yeah, those are examples that I'm talking about. When you want a deal, you got to go above and beyond to get that deal. I remember a few years ago there was a foreclosure in Houseman area. My favorite neighborhood is Parkwood, Hunter's Chase, that neighborhood. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I bought like 10 houses in that neighborhood. And this house was up for foreclosure. I just came back from a trip. I drove some. I knocked on the door. It was vacant. I located the guy in Vegas, where I just happened to be coming back from. But I called a phone number associated with him, and it was his girlfriend's daughter. I don't know why, but she answered, called me back. Said, oh, by the way, Bob, I think, no, it was Larry. His name was Larry. He's back in San Antonio for the week. Here's his number. He was staying 3 blocks away at a friend's house, while this home that he had had with his ex-wife was vacant, about to get foreclosed. And so I called Larry and I said, hey, where are you at? You know, I'd really like to talk to you. He said, well, I'm over here by the neighborhood. Like, hey, I'm just around the corner. I was just looking at the home. No, I wasn't. I was like 5 miles away. I'll be right there. Didn't even give him a chance to say no after he gave me where he's at. And I met with him and his buddy for like 10 minutes. And he just signed over the home right then and there. Seriously. I ended up having to get the ex-wife. She signed over the property. And this happened like right before like Christmas Eve. That's right before Christmas Eve. And that's when I get some of my best deals. I've gotten like 2 deals on a Sunday before, because that's when the fish are biting. That's the true part of real estate investing. No one will ever tell you. They're going to tell you, oh, you're going to make lots of money. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. They don't tell you the truth. which is it can be a tough racket. But here's the question I asked for you, Rick, is it worth it? So other lead sources, y'all ready? Are you guys familiar with tax delinquents? These are people that are behind on their property taxes. Now, just because they're behind on property taxes doesn't mean it's a lead. So I'm going to educate you about something. There's this thing in Texas and Bexar County really specifically, when you get over 65, you can defer your taxes till after you're croak. Okay? Who's responsible for those taxes? Will be your heirs. So as long as you live past 65, you don't have to pay any property taxes, but they start accruing. And you've got 180 days after you pass, your family does, to do what? Pay those taxes off. And if you don't, they can reassess all those late fees and everything for the last 5, 10, 20 years. They can go from 30 grand to 100 grand like that. So be aware of these things. Even if they're not ready to sell today, plant some seeds with those family members. One of the nicest things you could do to those people is, look, I know you don't want to sell now, but I've got a great solution for you. Write this down, a TOD, a T-O-D-D, transfer on death deed. Encourage them to go to some attorney, like me, to do a transfer on death deed. When they die, it automatically goes to the next of kin. Because sometimes some of these families have like 8 kids and they're all fighting and they hate each other. And if they can just give it to that one kid, then you only have to do with that one kid. Y'all with me? It becomes effective when they die. You don't have to go through probate. How cool is that? And you can rescind it without the heir or heirs. You can refinance without the heirs. It's just a deed placed in the deed records in advance. So that way when you die, it automatically goes to that person. So be of service to these people. Be of service. So the numbers make sense also for tax delinquents. If it's worth 200 grand but they owe 190 in back taxes, where are you going to buy that one? Now, by the way, the taxing authority is at the top of the food chain. They're ahead of mortgages, they're ahead of tax liens, they're ahead of, federal tax liens, they're ahead of hospital liens, they're ahead of everything. And they will not negotiate. Am I clear? They will not negotiate. But there is an out if you're interested in learning. Anybody interested? So what you can do is put 20% down. And the rest, you can make in payments. Now they want to get paid in like 18 months, but you can't afford that much. So pay what you can for a while. You know, pay it down eventually. Might take you 10, 20 years, but keep working with them. As long as they're getting money from you, that's all they care about. Y'all with me? The last home I lived in, Woods of Chavano, I resold it for like $325 a few years ago, about 2019. And I bought it for the back taxes of only $29,000. So when it was all said and done, I put about 80 into it. I got that back, plus another $200,000 in profit, tax-free, because we lived in it for over 2 years. That was a hell of a deal. Who wanted that deal? But there are deals to be had with folks that are behind on their property taxes. And the way you get in is by building a rapport with them. Hey, I know you're up in age, and I know you don't want to sell it, but do me a favor. Think about this Todd instrument. By the way, he's a lawyer. He'll do it for you. So that way you leave it to the one kid or kids or spouses. Usually it's spouses first and then the kid or kids you want to leave it to. This way there's no title issues down the road. And you just follow up with them every so often. The home that I currently live in, I bought it back in 2009. I ended up renting it while I was in the previous house. I got it back. And I'm living in it. And I bought that from the heirs who made me wait like a year before I got it. Who's willing to follow up? Who's willing to follow up to get deals? Liars. Easiest solution to follow up, have a Google account, have a Yahoo account. Put it in your calendar. Follow up with Bob on 1234 any street. And here's his phone number. Put your notes in there. You call Bob, he's not interested yet. Follow up in 6 more months. Put it in your calendar. Who here is focused, disciplined to do that? Liars. That's my last one, I promise. Except for Belle, I got one more for her. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. All right, next lead source. Next lead source. This is a little outlier. You ready? Anybody having to do with seniors that are very up in age? So let's think about that. I'm going to spit them out, so you better write it fast. Funeral homes. Talk to their salespeople. Hey, I've got money. I'm willing to help the family if I can buy their properties. Assisted living facilities. Nursing homes. Hoarders are us. I don't know. Anything having to do with older people that they want their properties gone. They need money. The point is, there's a lot of elderly out there that they have not maintained their properties and they have junk galore. This property I bought last week on West Ellesmere. Did you come with me on that one? Okay, so Cole here's one of my associates, and not one, not two, but 5 big sheds in the back. This person was a hoarder. And so we have to get a big old moving truck to load up these statues and boxes and blah, blah, blah. And then after we're done with that, we have to basically bulldoze all those sheds, throw them in the dumpster, because this person was just a hoarder. Can you do that? I don't do that. I hire people to do that. Are you capable of putting it together, being out of money until you get paid? That's what it takes. So that's another interesting way to find deals. Anybody know any landscapers? Everybody here knows some sort of landscaper. Well, have business cards. Every landscaper offer them a referral fee of $500 and said, hey, if I buy a property because of you, I will give you $500. No, but you put this in front of a landscaper. You put this in front of a mailman. You put this in front of people out there who are maybe collecting trash or anything. And this gets their attention. Do I have your attention, folks? Yeah. This is monopoly money. It's just paper. Okay? And I'm not trying to be a jerk about it or anything. I'm just trying to tell you that gets people's attention. Did that get your attention? Yeah. All right. Lead sources. Who thinks I should be buying at the auction? Raise your hand. No. It's an inside joke. Anybody think I should be buying at the auction? Why not? I've already told you, because that's where the suckers go. But it's because they overbid on properties. Now there are some exceptions, and I think Rick's had some luck with it, and Adriana, but for the most part, am I wrong, Rick? Most people overbid for these properties?
You're right.
Hang on, I'm going to bring you the mic, because Rick, come on up for a second, just easier.
Victor's right, and with our company, we try to be diverse in where we find these. He's right. You don't want to have one source only, especially in this market where houses are hard to find. So you want to have multiple places to go and look. The auction is, we might get lucky and get 1 or 2 a year. A lot of times I want to go buy land because I build new home construction, so I can steal land there. But the last one we went to, they were overbidding a lot. I mean, it was crazy. But you're gonna get lucky once in a while. I'll give you an example. We went over there and there was a commercial lot, already zoned C2, on the access road of IH-10 and 1604 in Converse. Commercial, 0.46 of an acre on the access road of I-10, going up for $7,500. Okay, so what's wrong with it? So I get out there, and it's next to the creek, so it's a little bit behind the guardrail, the first 50 feet. Okay, so it's not storefront. But maybe somebody that does cabinets, countertops, they just need to put some trucks and off, that's it. That might work. If it's close to that, it's gonna be in the flood zone. It's undeveloped, but there's power, so forth and so on. I took everybody to go see it. I got friends and acquisitions at KB Homes, and for 1 month, everybody said, stay away from it. Stay away, don't do it, don't do it. For 30 days, I can't find one person just to give me some peace of mind. But I'm going, how can I go wrong at $7,500? So I get to the auction and makes the list. And Tanya Donacci is with me at the time. She's a friend of ours too, and she's very emotional. She gets too paranoid, the whole table knows it. So I told her, just stay calm, don't be moving around. These guys will take you up just to mess with you, just sit still. So she sits still, and so they go case number blah blah blah, their county versus such and such. Opening bid of $7,500. Do I have an opening bid? It's quiet. $7,500 going once. $7,500 going twice. And I went minimum bid. It goes sold $7,500. So I go get it. I don't even put it on MLS. I just stick a little commercial sign on there. I said, now, people are gonna assume that this lot's expensive because it's on I-10. But I'm looking for that. I'm a market maker. Who's my target audience for this lot? Well, it's the guys from Mexico. The guys that say, look, I want to open up a cabinet play. I've got cash. I haven't been here long enough to get a bank loan. So I put a special sign. C2, $42,000 OBO. Let them see that. So the phones come in 5 months. I sold it for $36,000 cash from something I bought for $7,500. So actually, Victor's right, but there are times when I bought a house for $69,000. I took the rent money for 10 months, put $8,000 in my pocket, moved them out, put $20,000 in, put them back in, got a pre-qual for $160, and I cashed out on that. But I'm not going to make a living down there. I'm not going to get enough of them to do that. It's just we're very diverse in what they do.
Guys, there are so many ways out there to get real estate deals. Tons. There really is. There's more ways you could ever imagine. You are going to find certain lead sources that work for you. I know it works for me because I've been doing it for 20 years. Okay, so I just did a deal a few months ago with one of your clients. We wholesale it to them in Converse. That's another one, right? So that was driving for dollars. Driving for dollars. We ended up having to get 3 heirs. They were in Indiana, and it took us a good 2 weeks to put that deal together, but we did, and we wholesaled it to his client, who ends up rehabbing it, and she just put it on the market.
Well, you guys, some of y'all investors, man, I'm like, oh, you make me nervous, because it's supposed to be about like 165, 170, but she got it 205. That's what she got it, so I'm like, okay, so that's people, I listed one the other day.
She got 205?
Well, we're working on it.
Oh, okay.
One of them, I mean, it's under contract, whatever, but the buyer still with all contingencies, gave them $4,000 no matter where it comes in, but I'm pretty sure it'll be in the, I don't know, man, I mean, they're still doing it.
Appraised.
I know, we'll see. So that's, I don't know, I'm like, okay, well, let's see what happens.
Guys, these are just opportunities. These leads are merely opportunities. What you do with it is up to you. If you do nothing, what are your odds of success?
0.
Exactly. And even if you bust your butt and you put a lot of time into it, you may still not get the deal. But I'm telling you, the odds are in your favor if you do something, anything. If you take massive imperfect action, your odds of success are way up there. If I work out once a year and I eat like a pig, what am I going to look like at the end of the year? A pig. But if I go today, like my gym bag's in my truck right now, and after work I'm going to go straight to the gym, and I'm fasting for the day, purposely, I'm telling you this. It's sacrifice. It's a sacrifice to have good health. It's a sacrifice to get deals. It's a sacrifice to have money in the bank. Okay? Even when I went to Vegas, you think I'm going to stay at the Bellagio just because I have the money? No, I got a hotel room at New York. Like, I can hear like, ooh. I don't care. I wasn't in the room much. Okay? Long story, but I ended up moving to the Paris Hotel. Anyway. As always, thank you for watching our show. For more real estate investment and legal real estate content, please subscribe to our channel. Please follow me on social media, and the links are below. Don't forget to visit thevictormaas.com for coaching and future events. Also, listen to our podcast by searching for The Victor Maas Real Estate Show wherever you listen to podcasts. Also linked below. Until next time, this is Victor Maas signing off. Take care.